Nice to see you. Welcome to the Mulgrave Country Club. Welcome along to That's Good for Footy. This is the only live and interactive footy panel show going around where the fans meet the players and the players get to meet the fans, which is a pretty cool way to do it. These are for the live and interactive type of individual that like to come along and are pretty passionate about the Melbourne Football Club, and I presume that's a lot of you out there tonight, yes? Yeah, okay. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's better. Let's get into it then. It's please welcome to the show for the very first time, I might add, our first panellist. He was born on the 31st of May in 2000. He's played a total of 49 games and he's kicked 16 goals. When he made his AFL debut back in 2019, and when he plays for the Melbourne Football Club, he wears a number 32 on his back. Could you please welcome to the stage, Tom Sparrow.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you.
You're all wonderful, how good are you? Yeah, that's good, that's nice. If I let you go with that now, what are you going to do when the next one comes out, you know? We hear it again and again, and then you'll be singing it on September the 24th, and you'll be singing it the week after that, and it just goes on and on. I've got to save your voices for you, that's what I'm trying to do here. You can see, first time to the show, but have a look at that cute, adorable face. It's just wonderful. And he's not starstruck at all, he's just like, I'm here and I'm ready to go, and he wants to say hi to you all, don't you?
Yeah, it's good to see all your faces. First time here, but I'm glad I'm here and ready to have a good time. So.
How good is that? Thank you everyone for making me feel welcome. Great to have you here, mate. We'll have a little bit of fun with you tonight. We'll see where it goes to from here. Let's get our second panellist out here. He'll give you a little bit of comfort when he gets here. Nice to have put you under his wing. He was born on the 9th of January in 1996. He's played a total of 141 games and he's kicked 145. Oh, no, he hasn't. He's kicked 46 goals. That's better. He'd like it if he kicked 146 goals. He made his AFL debut back in 2015. When he plays for the Melbourne Football Club, he wears the number 10 on his back. Could you please welcome to the stage, Angus Brayshaw.
It's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you.
There you go.
It's the emblem
now you can sing it.
The team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
Fantastic. Well done. How's that, Gus? Not a bad reaction, is it?
It's good. Good to see everyone. Thank you very much for coming out. A few friend of the podcast t-shirts floating around, so it's good to be here. Thanks for having us.
How cool is that? I like it. How's this? Let's get into it straight off the top. We've had sackings, appointments, retirements, heartbreak, jubilation, drama, controversy and disappointment, and that's just been the last week of football. So it's been a pretty big week. I did want to go into this though. The week of the AFL 22 AFL season, and now we get stuck into the finals. So we've got 4 big games coming up against 8 great teams. All of them will battle each other for the right to hold the Premiership Cup aloft on the last Saturday in September. And the best part is, and this is the part that I like, is the AFL Grand Final is back at the home of football, the MCG. It is just wonderful to know that most of the finals are going to be played there. A couple, one at Optus and the other one up at the Gabba. But great to know that we've got 2 games of football back at the MCG. This is the part that I wanted to allude to, because after 2 years of lockdowns, we've had restrictions, isolation rules and curfews. The day we've finally been waiting for is here. Let's not forget that last year most of us had to watch, unless your name was Hayden Button, most of you had to watch the AFL Grand Final in your house at home. You weren't even allowed to go to the pub. So it's great to be back out, and it's great to be amongst the players and to be sharing in it with them. So thank you to everyone for getting along here tonight and being part of it. Before I get started, I just wanted to congratulate both Harry Petty, James Jordan, Cozzy Pickett and Luke Jackson for their selection in the under 22 team, which is pretty cool. Very good. But whilst we're at it, I also wanted to congratulate Max Gawn, Stephen May, Clayton Oliver. Normally you're sitting right here and going, yeah, thanks, mate. Christian Petrarca on their selection in the All-Australian team. Well done to all the 8 players from the Melbourne Football Club. I think you'd agree. Well done. Absolutely. But now let's get on with the show. We'll do it in our first little segment. It's called Who Are You? He's settling in all right, can you tell? And I like this, Damo. This is good. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to ask you boys some questions, just alluding to past and moving into the future. I just wanted to find out, growing up as a kid, would you like to both catch up with friends, go down to the local oval, head off to the school ground and kick the footy? What was your pastime after school?
Yeah, for me it was a little bit different. I grew up playing soccer as a kid.
Okay.
So a little bit of a different start to most footy players. But yeah, so that was my pastime, kicking the soccer ball around. But slowly transitioned into playing footy and going down the park, recess and lunch, playing games of footy. So it was good.
About what period of that was your journey? What age were you when you...
Till I was about 12.
Okay.
11 or 12 I was playing soccer and then changed schools. Everyone there played footy and I said, I might just give this a crack, and it turned out to be a pretty wise decision, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it something that was it in the back of your mind, or you hadn't even picked up a football? It was just always soccer, and then all of a sudden with the skills that you'd learned from soccer, you became more adaptable towards AFL?
Well, my brother and my dad played footy. Dad played 300 local games for his club. He's a life member there, so I always grew up around footy.
Yeah, right.
But when I was at school, primary school, all my mates there, they all played soccer, so I just did the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah, then when that transition happened at my next school, they all played footy and I just tagged along. So
Brilliant. Now, I know your story was not like that. Give us yours.
No.
What
I
was
had
it like for you?
3 brothers, one of 4 boys. So, and we lived at the hop, skip and a jump, probably 100 metres away from a big park down the end of the street. So it was footy from as soon as I could walk, and combative from pretty early on as well. It's hard yards growing up. I'm the second boy, so the older brother, who was probably the least skilled, but he was the biggest, so that was his advantage. He just used to bash us up and take a lot of pleasure out of doing so. But it teaches you competitiveness and teamwork as well. You'd often have to form alliances with Hamish or Andy or one of those boys, and it was good fun. I have very fond memories growing up playing footy and going and watching footy, and I was very fortunate in upbringing.
Love it. I just I wanted to allude to the fact that you were talking about competitiveness. I just read somewhere today you actually took the second most marks out of every player in the AFL. 190 marks, I think, were taken by James Sicily, and you ended up with 163 marks for the whole season. So second in the AFL.
It's
for
a
most
weird
marks.
stat, yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
I feel like they kept kicking me the balls more than kicking it to me than me actually doing anything special. So. No, it was just a different role this year. I think at down back, it's I didn't mark it much in the last 4 games when I moved back into the midfield, but it's just the nature of the role. So something I enjoyed a lot. Going down, Stephen May and Jake Lever, they run the show back there. So I went in and just fit in and try not to get in too much trouble. And we got a great defensive unit. I think we were the lowest total scores against for the year. So to be a part of that unit, very much a team within a team, and I loved being a part of it. So. It was good. I had fun.
Yeah, how brilliant. I love it, mate. Thank you. Did you used to dominate in those matchups? I know that you spoke about your brother that was, the big and the bulky one, but when I say dominate, I don't necessarily mean physical presence, but would you be the one that would control the ball skills and that your other brothers would be looking up to you, or all your mates, or however that...
Yeah, he's in the army now, my older brother. So he's a trained killer, so there was not less physical domination. But yeah, I mean, he also played soccer, so he's got this weird... He played both sports, but grew up playing soccer, so his kick was... you could sort of tell he opens his foot up a bit more like a soccer kick. So yeah, and Andrew, who's probably a better footballer now, over at Freo, he was he was too young at the start and developed later, so... Yeah, I was the pick of the bunch for growing up. That doesn't mean a whole lot, to be fair. And going up through school, I played with Christian Salem, was at my junior club. So we played a lot of football together, and we played against Josh Kelly. He was at our rival team. Jaden Hunt also played with us for a little bit. So we had a really high standard of junior football. I don't think I was particularly stood out early days. I was playing up an age group with Christian, so he was drafted a year before me. I played junior footy the whole way through with him. So I just loved playing footy, and then once so I played all the way up to under 15s. Then it starts with Sandy Dragons and TAC Cup, and you can't play up. You have to play to your age group when it starts being representative. So when I dropped back down to start playing with the kids my age, that's when I sort of thought that I'd be half a chance to make it into the AFL, because I think probably because of playing up and getting tested against the bigger boys, the older boys earlier on.
That's interesting. I wanted to find out, with your skills, you obviously started off with soccer. Did you used to own and dominate at soccer, or did you then, once you adapted and went across and transitioned to AFL, did you used to own and dominate with that?
What position did you play as well? That's what I want to know. This is the first time I've heard he played soccer as well, to be fair.
Wow.
It's
just
true.
genuinely
It's
interesting.
true. I would normally be on the left wing. Very odd, but
That is weird.
yeah, I'm not a left footer either. I'm a right footer. But
Wow.
I think that's just sort of where they saw me fit in. So I wasn't very good at soccer. It's sort of I picked up footy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I sort of found, for me, I was probably about this big when I was about 16. So
Right.
I found it pretty easy being competitive against the other boys. But like it came to me pretty naturally.
Yeah.
Seeing my brother played a bit. He's tall and skinny, so he was a good
Right.
runner. We used to just make him tag every week. Wasn't too good with hand-eye, so
Yeah.
he had a role. But yeah, it came to me pretty naturally, and then with a bit of training and that,
Yeah.
things just took off.
Brilliant, I love it. What's more important when you're growing up, taking a specky over your mates or kicking a ridiculous goal?
I'm going to say goal. I've never been a particularly good jumper, and so the speckies have eluded me thus far. So I think I'm going to say goal of the year, because anyone can pull one. Lingers, for example, Ed Lanen's kicked one. He closed his eyes and kicked it on his boot and wobbled its way through. And anyone can do that, so I think it makes it a bit more realistic. Anyone in here could kick the goal that he kicked, so that makes it a little bit more attainable. As for marks, though, there's not many blokes can do that.
It was funny, Gus, because I was actually alluding to the fact of like when you're growing up, when you get together with your mates or you get together with your brothers, kicking those ridiculous goals, that always went hand in hand. But taking a specky over your brother or something like that.
Oh, yeah. It's just something I could never do, though. So,
Yeah, right.
There's no point wishing for it. I'm very much a ground-based. I'm sure everyone who knows.
Cool.
Yeah, I was going to go the other way. I think taking a specky.
Yeah.
I think you can sort of relate that to like a posterised in the NBA
Yeah,
or
but
something
you can
like that.
jump. That's the thing. It's actually a chance for
You
you.
can really, rub it in and say, I was up on your back or on your shoulder or something like that.
Good on you,
I think
Spaz.
that would be the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Who did you grow up barracking for?
I was an Adelaide Crows fan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Adelaide boy, weren't you?
Yeah.
I grew up in Adelaide, so
Yeah.
it was them or Port, and I think the decision there is pretty clear. Went for the Crows.
Wise choice.
So I was Fremantle. I was born and grew up a little bit in Perth, so same sort of thing. It was between Freo and West Coast, and I think it was an obvious choice. So, it's funny now. My brother plays there, so it's an interesting sort of full circle.
And while you speak about that, congratulations to him as well in the under-22 team.
Yeah.
I'm sure you passed on your best wishes when
Did.
that came through. I wanted to also ask you, going back to your first game, you've just been told that you're playing. Okay, you're not a supporter anymore. You're not a fan. You're actually now playing for the Melbourne Football Club. You put that jumper on for the first time. What was that emotion like?
Yeah, for me.
What was your first game?
Yeah, I played round one in my first year.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different. I was named emergency.
Okay.
So I did captain's run the day before.
Yep.
And I was driving home that day, and Jordan Lewis had just got a scan.
All right.
And I think one of the boys out for breakfast had said that he might have, not come back too positive for him.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, that could mean I'm a chance here.
Yeah.
Get in the car, drive back home. Goody rings me.
Yeah.
It's probably 24 hours before the game. He said, mate, you're going to play.
Whoa.
Got off the phone, spoke to mum and dad, said, might maybe jump on a plane.
Oh, wow.
Going to be playing this week, so
Yeah.
see if you can get over. A few of my mates came over as well, so it was, just had this rush of emotions.
Wow.
Didn't have much time to think about it during the week because it's very late notice, but it's
That's awesome.
it came on pretty quickly, and it was it was huge going into it. I was really pumped.
And that's obviously it's a memory that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. But it was also just what you experienced there in the present at that moment. What I was also alluding to is when you're down in the change rooms and you've just put the jumper on for the first time. What was that emotion like for you?
Yeah, that was pretty special.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'd been on the MCG since I was about 6 years old. I did a tour there with my dad, but and he presented my Guernsey to me as well. So that was a pretty special moment.
Mate, brilliant.
And then to be playing alongside, really good players you see on TV, Gus and the likes, and Gorney and that, it was a pretty special moment for me. Didn't quite get the chocolates that day, but it was an awesome experience nonetheless.
I love it. Well done. Thanks for sharing. Angus, what was it like? You're finally down in the change rooms.
Yeah.
You're playing for the Melbourne Football Club. You whacked the jumper on for the first time. What's the emotion like for you?
Yeah, it's a huge honour, I think, and probably as I've gone through my career and reflected a bit more, we've got the most incredible football club, the oldest club in the game, and I think at the time I was just this dumb sort of idiot 18-year-old who didn't really know what was going on. I was just keen to play footy, but now looking back to have the moment, our jumper, putting that on, how special that day was. We won, so it was the first time we'd won a round one game in quite a while, so there was a heap of positive emotions around it, and just to get the opportunity to play any amount of games for this club, that one was one I remember, but it's a huge honour and something that I probably took for granted as a young kid, because you're just worried about getting the kick and you're not thinking on the big picture. But now that maybe a little bit more wisdom, more years to reflect, it's super special.
So much tradition, so much history.
Absolutely, yeah. We had this bloke, old fella called Des Bell, come down to training, and he's the oldest living Melbourne player. He's 99 years old. Fought in World War II, then came back and played 7 games for Melbourne, and knew Norm Smith, knew Barassi, knew the whole crew. And speaking to him, he's we've got a connection way back along the line. My pop and his son-in-law played cricket together for West Australia, and we sat down and had a good chat. And the history of our football club, the people that comprise it, it's just incredible. We're very fortunate to be a part of it as well. So
absolutely,
it's awesome. Very, very special.
It's a story behind every jumper.
100%.
Yeah, it's just brilliant.
Incredible.
I love it. Did you guys used to collect footy cards when you were growing up?
I used to get the one. You remember in the Smith's chips packets? They had those little ones.
Yeah.
That was. I remember Nana used to get me a packet of chips and stuff after school, and I'd get them, but I wasn't trading them or anything like that with the other boys at school. But that was to the extent of my collection.
I hear.
Yeah, we had a shared collection between the 4 of us, because we'd always just steal off each other. So we had
no trading going on there.
All together it would have been pretty solid, but individually I'd had a few cards here or there, but they always seemed to go missing.
Yeah. The question I wanted to ask you off the back of that then, what was it like when you first saw your card?
Weird, yeah, really weird. A young kid brought one up to me, and I just couldn't, it was a very surreal experience, because I've been that little kid so many times and have asked for so many, players to sign it, and it was a weird experience, and I'm always happy to sign for kids in particular, because I've been that, that's what I always think, is that I've pestered so many people for signatures in the past, so the least I can do is give a few back.
Yeah, I've had probably not as many experiences as Gus, I don't reckon, with the signing the cards, but I've seen them out there, and it's pretty cool to see your picture on a card.
For sure.
Something you don't really think of as a kid until that day comes and you go, this is pretty real. It's cool to see.
It's a surreal moment.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Does everyone in your family now barrack for who you play for? Or I know you've got a few,
Mine do. All mine do, yeah.
Yes, everybody.
Yeah. Besides my uncle, he's mad Geelong. So
really?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so my mum has got a few. My old man doesn't care. He sort of doesn't really care too much, as long as we're playing all right.
Yeah.
Mum's got my Andrew obviously plays for Fremantle. Hamish played a game for West Coast. So mum's got a Melbourne scarf, a Fremantle scarf, and I think she still has a West Coast scarf, but not really. Then she's got all 3 of them sewn together, so it's like this extra long 3-decker scarf, and then she's canned that one, and now there's a Melbourne and a Freo one. They get worn a fair bit.
Wow.
She can't split them, and all my extended family's the same. It's hard to pick sides. I think, and this is a good thing for us, I guess, is that she sort of pities Fremantle a bit, because we won a flag last year, and that was always the thing where I'm sure everyone here can relate to being the sort of the sad sacks, the loser sort of club. No one ever wins. Everyone feels a bit sorry for us. Now it's the shoes on the other foot a little bit. So
beautiful.
It feels good to be.
Like it. Yeah, that's
exactly.
good.
It's a good feeling.
Very cool. There you go. Hey,
Exactly.
can you remember, and probably a little bit more recently for you, Tom, but can you remember turning up to training for the first day? Knowing where to park, knowing where to sit. Did anyone play any pranks on you? Like, here, go and sit in Goody's chair, it'll be funny. Was there anything like that?
Nothing like that, but I do have a funny story. My first day, normally in your first year, you sort of get held back from a few things.
Yep.
You've got all the senior blokes, doing all the running, and the first year boys get pulled out of it. Yeah. You sort of do a light skills session, get in front of the cameras, do a bit of media and stuff like that.
Okay.
I remember after my first training, that esky of Gatorades, I'm like, you beauty, I'll smash one of these. They're going to give us a tour of the gym after, I'll just take one for the road.
Right.
I'd had way too much to drink, like in terms of just pure fluids, go into the gym, get a tour, and that gym coach says, you know, we normally have a pre-workout, put a scoop of this in your shaker, have it. Tastes disgusting. Never had it before in my life. It's gross. I drink it, scull it, get rid of it. Start to feel this bit of a weird sensation in my stomach. I'm like, I reckon I'm gonna throw up here. I'm in the gym and I just vomit. All this liquid. It was just liquid, no food, nothing. Just clear liquid, just up on the floor. My first day. First time I met all these blokes. I feel like an idiot. I'm like, what's going on here? Go to the bathroom, clean myself up, carry on. And that was my first day. I was like, well, couldn't get any worse than this, get that done early.
It was like a fire engine had turned up and it was just like, it went everywhere. That's amazing.
We're only going up
What an interesting story. I like that. What an initiation. What was it like for you, Gus? You turn up for the first time. Can you remember, like, just going, where do I park? Where do I sit? What was that?
I didn't park. I got picked up by Jonesy. And that was an experience of itself. Obviously, everyone's got an idea of Jonesy, the bald head, the tats and all that stuff. And he rocks up. I'm sort of waiting at the front door for a little bit, a bit nervous. And this all-black ute rolls up. And gangster rap music, I can hear it from inside my house. And he winds the window down. He's got his all-black sunnies on. He's got a black sleeveless singlet on, and all the tats are glistening. And I was just sort of got into the car and didn't say anything for the first, 45 minutes of my football career with him. And then, didn't get much better from there either. We, same sort of thing, got chucked in the deep end. Different. We got chucked in the training at deep end, and he nailed me the first session. I just thought, this bloke, and he's driving me home as well. It's just the worst. I was genuinely pretty scared of him as a bloke, and the story goes on, and we become very good friends, and he's a lovely man, and the rest of it. But that first day, I was as scared as I've ever been.
How cool is that? There you go.
Yeah.
Intimidating right from the very beginning. What's the biggest crowd that you've played in front of, and what was that feeling like the very first time when you're walking up the race and you know you're about to walk out in front of X amount of people?
I think mine would have been just recently against the Collingwood game.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like knowing you're going to get a lot of people. It was obviously the stakes from last time, beat his Queen's birthday, and knew there was going to be a big crowd. Right. And you can sort of feel the vibe in the change rooms. You know, it's building it up during the week as well. The media sort of get a hold of it. But when you walk up the race and you got your teammates there, it's something special knowing that there's 22 other blokes that have got your back. Hear the roar of the crowd as you run out. It's and the song. It all comes together really nicely, and it's just a great moment.
That's brilliant. I love it. Thanks, Tom.
And mine was the 2018. I think it was the final against Geelong, the elimination final. I think we had a few more. So it was 92 or 3, and we got there. I got there. I didn't want to be late, and Jonesy picked me up again, and it was super special. Everyone knows his story and how long he'd been waiting for finals, and we sort of walked out on the ground to kill some time, and the MCC was already full, and 20,000, however many people were in there, and they were all probably, had a few tins by that point as well, and we got Jonesy got a standing ovation, and I just happened to be there, and that was really cool. And then the stadium packs out, and we actually, that was an awesome game for those who were there. We won obviously, but it was it was an awesome experience. Yeah, awesome.
That's
so
brilliant.
It was very special.
I love it. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit later on in relation to the role that you've just changed positions on the field. But I just wanted to ask you this, and this is just between us, all right? If it was your choice and not the coach's, what position would you like to play?
Full forward. It's about the only position I haven't played this year, so I'd like to see how I go.
Beat that.
Pretty happy being in the midfield, but we've got an exclusive wingers club going on at Melbourne Footy Club.
That's correct.
I would love to be a part of that.
Sort of on the fringes. You sort of pinch hit. I've actually, I used to be the vice president, and then sort of Lingers fired me at the start of the year. But the wingers club is strong, and you probably haven't played enough. You sort of pinch hit in there at times. It's not quite enough.
Filled a few gaps here and there, but
you can't.
I don't think
I like it. Old bull, new bull. Oh yeah, or young bull, I should say. What was footy? And I know you just alluded to it, but I'll go there with you, Gus, as well. Was footy the only sport you were interested in? I know you did say soccer, but was there anything else that ever was on the horizon for you?
For me, not too much of a sports fan, to be honest. I love playing the game.
Yep.
I love playing sport. No matter, I used to play a bit of basketball, a bit of tennis growing up.
Okay.
Tried a few things. Wasn't massive on watching like the NBA or the American football or anything like that. So I like to try them out.
Yeah.
But I would spend my time doing them rather than watching them a lot of the time.
I understand.
And athletics and cricket were two that growing up in particular, and then golf is something that, and then you're getting into golf at the moment as well.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, so a bit late to the party, but that's something. Same sort of thing. We tried everything, and I wasn't. Football was the one that stood out that I was particularly good at, but the other ones I just did for the fun of it, and that's. I guess why he got into football at the start as well. And, you heard it in Spaz's story. He's playing soccer because all his mates are, and that's fun. And then footy as well, the same sort of thing. So,
brilliant.
just tried everything. It was awesome.
Now, do you watch a lot of football? Both of you, do you watch a lot of football? And if you do you watch it with the sound up or the sound down?
I have mine, sound up.
Okay.
Just watch it how it is.
And
I watch a fair bit. I'll probably watch normally like the night games.
Yep.
Especially not before a game. I like to... kick back and watch a game of footy, but fill in a bit of time on Sunday afternoon and something like that. So I enjoy watching it, especially big games. Last round was pretty good spectacle, so I enjoyed watching those games.
Absolutely.
And just high stakes, so it was definitely very good to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it depends who's commentating. So
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I can't cop my uncle's voice for another second, so I'll mute him. Same sort of thing as Spaz. I actually find it hard to watch the night before because I find I just like to get in my own sort of space, and I think it's hard to watch a game of football for me and not get emotionally into it, and I think that I spend a few energy tickets doing that, so I try and wait and I'll watch as much footy after games as possible, but not the night before. It's just a time to relax.
That's what brings me to this next question. Good segue. Before a game, do you like to actually get into your own space? Are you anxious? Are you nervous? Or do you like to just go about your own routine?
Not particularly anxious or nervous. It's just I guess I'm just a creature of habit. And there are things that I like to do that I wake up the next morning and wake up on game day and get to the ground and feel really good about doing. So, everyone's different. And I wouldn't say they're superstitions, because I reckon if you're too superstitious and then something changes, then you just stuff yourself up. So there's it's pretty easy going.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think people have their superstitions, but if you go too hard at it and something doesn't go right, it can sort of play with you a little bit. So I normally, my pre-game routine is pretty standard every week, but I don't follow everything to a T. Don't get too anxious anymore. At the start of my career, I'm sure you guys could say the same. You get pretty nervous as a young fella. Try to employ some mindfulness stuff as well. I know Christian Petrarca does some as well. Calm the nerves, get mentally prepared for games. So it's just something I've adopted this year, and I look forward to doing that before the games, get myself ready.
Yeah, I hear you. You've been handed a first-class ticket to go anywhere in the world. Where are you going and why?
That's a really good question. I would probably, at this point, go...
I reckon I might go to Japan, I reckon. I haven't been to Japan.
Yep.
I haven't really been too many places overseas, but I think that'd be a nice place to go.
Yeah, I agree.
I reckon Vegas, because we probably, when we win another flag, it's been a while.
Answer.
As the group, we get 45 tickets and we'll get all the whole time there.
Wow, that should make
for down a little bit.
Good TikTok video.
Yeah, we'll go with Essendon boys to Ibiza or something. See how they're going. How well are they going as a footy club?
Wow, excellent. Who has been the biggest influence or support in your footy journey so far? If you had to narrow it down, well, I don't mean if you had to narrow it down, but if you just wanted to acknowledge somebody.
I think Dad for me.
Okay.
Like I touched on it before, but he played a bit of senior footy at just local level, but I think for me, he's always been there for me running in the off season. He'd get the stopwatch out and he'd love it. He's always involved driving to training, stuff like that. So I think for me, from like a professional point of view, he's kept me on track pretty well, and he's really helped me out in that space. But I've got a lot of coaches along the way that have been so valuable in their own regard. So, I mean, there's a long list of people.
Hard to narrow it down.
For sure.
But Dad for me has been the one that's been there the whole way through. So.
Good.
Yeah, my old man's been huge. I think he's mentioned before, but Jonesy, after day one, which was obviously rough going for us, after that he was huge for me. I always thought that my old man was a bit of an idiot, so it's hard to listen too much to the stuff that he was saying. But Jonesy, he was very much a mentor to me when I got to the club, and I learned so much off him. And it wasn't always, a bit of a smart aleck sometimes. They weren't always easy lessons, but he was super persistent and caring, and we got a very, very deep bond sort of thing. And it was through that he really got through to me and helped me with a heap of stuff along the way, not just footy. So
that's great. Good acknowledgement.
He's unreal for our club, but for me as well. So
yeah, great. I love it, Gus. How are you with flying when you do interstate games? Headphones, need a lot of leg room, pillows?
I'm fine, but I'm usually next to Christian Petrarca, who every other trip it breaks down in tears, and it's really uncomfortable for him. It's so it makes me. I feel a bit uncomfortable sitting next to him because it's sort of I get a little bit just by sitting next to him. I feel bad. And the doctors usually give him something to try and sleep, but it doesn't really work. And we've had some bad flights. I remember the West Coast game last year when we got thunderstorm cancelled for 30 minutes. So we flew out that night, and on the way to the airport, we're driving towards the airport, and there's just thunder and lightning and stuff, and track is a mess.
Really?
And I held his hand for the flight, and the planes. So yeah,
I love it. Holding his hand. How beautiful is that?
It's probably not one you want to sit next to if you want to relax either.
No, exactly. No.
Phone in your face. Look at this video. He won't stop. So for me, it's headphones in, a bit of Netflix or something like that.
Okay.
Read a book, whatever. I don't normally get up from my seat too much, so I'm normally. I don't know if they do it on purpose, but they always schedule me on the window.
Oh, okay.
And I love it, so I can just sit there the whole ride and
perfect.
Don't have to move.
And you're a seatbelt kind of leave it on kind of guy instead of...
Yeah, just sit back in and just get your movie out and just tuck away.
Yeah, I get it. Do any of the following things really annoy you? I'm going to go through them. Really annoy you? They can all annoy you, or some of them can. Waiting in a queue to be served, being stuck in traffic, being put on hold, waiting for a green arrow at a set of traffic lights, your streaming service or internet buffering, or waiting for the microwave to finish. Any or all of the above?
There was one early on in the piece about traffic.
Yeah, traffic is annoying.
Traffic?
Waiting in line, everyone waits in lines, there's no problem with that.
Yep.
And I guess everyone gets stuck in traffic, but traffic just seems to be the worst. If I'm in traffic, I'm always upset.
Yeah,
there's never a happy moment in traffic. Whereas other stuff, you can always, some of those stuff, you're on hold, you can do something else, It's always a death sentence, whereas traffic.
I like
the internet one as well, it's a bit, I can find that to be a bit temperamental.
But just disengage, guys.
Get off the night. And
young kids are always on their devices these days. You got to get off your devices.
It could be any old night, and your
back into the world, mate.
Come
back to me.
You won't know how to fix it. You got to ring up Telstra.
Get off your device, mate.
How's that?
So most of those things can be
they're all annoying.
frustrating, but what can you do?
Exactly. You must choose one of the following life moments. This is a life moment, okay? And you must choose one of them, and they're all happening at the same time. Your partner is giving birth to your first child, and your best mate is getting married on a yacht in Monte Carlo, and he's shouting you an all-expenses-paid holiday. You're playing in an AFL Grand Final, or you've won an Access All Areas pass to see your favourite band on the planet. Which one are you choosing, boys?
Not the birth. So Matt Jones. Some of you might remember Matt Jones. Was the founder of the Wingers Club. Funnily enough, he was present for the birth of his first child and fainted from the stimulus that he was seeing. So when I get given the baby, I assume it's gone well. So I'm just going to take that for granted. I don't need to see it. It's all good as long as it all goes well. Grand final's a tough one to pass up.
Yeah.
So probably gonna have to pick that. But I mean, with the COVID in particular as well, like the all expenses trip sounds pretty good too. So
some big choices in there.
Grand final first, and then trip second.
There you go. All right, you heard that. Good. What about you, Tom?
Getting on a yacht doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
Having done the grand final, I can say that was a pretty good experience. So hopefully we can do that again. That'd be nice. So we'll lock that one in, I reckon. Do the grand final again.
Good. All right, there you go. They're hard life choices. I get it. This is an easier one for you. One of the following is placed in front of you. Which one are you eating? A cream bun, a meat pie, custard tart, vanilla slice, glazed or cinnamon donut, or chocolate?
Chocolate, and then chocolate.
Probably the glazed donut.
Oh, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the boys.
Donut.
Well done, guys. Nice and easy. Well done. All right, what we want to do now, it is a footy panel show, so we're going to discuss a little bit of football. We're going to do it talking about the finals. The finals kick off tomorrow night, Thursday the 1st of September, also the first day of spring, which is pretty awesome. Love it when spring comes around. We're going to talk elimination final. It's Brisbane versus Richmond. It's at 7:20pm. It's at the Gabba. Brisbane coming off a 58-point loss to Melbourne. I like to stop it about right there just to see if everyone's listening. Melbourne, who were dominant and made the Lions look second-rate. Tigers coming off a 66-point thrashing of Essendon. They will get Grimes and Graham back, and most likely Martin, who will come in off a lengthy stint on the sidelines. Big game player. Will he be match fit, though? That's the question. What do you think here, boys? Who would your tip be? Brisbane versus Richmond at the Gabba tomorrow night?
I actually think it's really interesting because, Brisbane just got pantsed and Richmond played Essendon, who... not much of a form sort of test there either, so it's hard to get a gauge on where either of them are at. I think Brisbane have got a lot more to lose just from a overall sort of setting. Richmond are sort of just snuck in. They're feeling, they don't have Martin comes back. They've already won their flags. Brisbane a lot more to lose. I think Brisbane will find a way to win.
Yeah, good. Okay.
I think I follow the same path. I think Brisbane will win.
Yep.
I think I was watching the news tonight and Hardwick was saying Martin's only at 80%,
Yep.
limited game time, different position maybe. So
He's still pretty good though.
I know he's a freak, probably my favourite player.
Yep.
But I think Brisbane, a lot on the line. They were talking about the final stats the last few years as well. I think they'll be really keen to get this win.
For sure. I'm going to talk about this game in greater detail, but I just want to touch on it here. Obviously, it's Friday night, September the 2nd, qualifying final, Melbourne versus Sydney, 7:50pm, MCG. D's looking like they found some good form off the back of the Lions. Demolition beating the Lions to the tune of 58 points. For Melbourne, they made it all look clinical. They adapted to Brisbane's roughhouse tactics with simple, quick ball movement and quality entries backed up with accurate kicking and good conversion. Nice football to watch. Just point to the scoreboard was all I was thinking each time that they started to come at you. Sydney's win was at the expense of St Kilda, who were gallant and came at the Swans, but the pressure applied to the ball carrier, creating turnovers, was what saw them get across the line in the end. We'll discuss that game in a little bit more detail shortly. I wanted to quickly jump over to this one, Saturday, September the 3rd, qualifying final. Geelong versus Collingwood, 4:35pm at the MCG. Geelong, the McClellan Trophy winners for 2022, finishing on top of the ladder at the end of the home and away season, winning their last 13 games. Stanley and Cameron will be better off for the week. Off. Guthrie and Kolodjasny most likely will be up for selection as well. Last time both teams met was round 3. Cats won by 13 points. Pies winning 12 of their last 13, going down to Sydney by 27. Adams will most likely come back in for Collingwood. Collingwood have had an outstanding year, defying all the odds and the expectations. This should be a cracker game. What do you boys think in relation to this?
I think it'll be a ripper.
Yep.
At the MCG, big crowd.
Yeah.
I can't go past Geelong.
Yeah.
I think their form has been really good. Clearly the 13 straight wins to finish off the year has been it's been pretty good.
Yep.
Freshen up for a few players.
Yep.
Although it is home game, but not their home game, so it could be play into Collingwood's hand a little bit, playing at the MCG, but I think their form will stand up, but it'll be a cracker to watch and see what
absolutely.
happens.
I reckon Geelong will slaughter them, and it's just...
Wow.
I honestly, credit to Collingwood. I just can't understand how they've... What's their percentage? Like 101 or something. It's like a miracle to me how they keep pulling these games out. And their luck's going to run out. Geelong been there, done that, and I think we'll just... I think they'll slaughter them.
Wow.
10 goals.
All right. There you go. Excellent. All
Which
right.
I would like to watch too, because I don't like
I think most people in the room would enjoy that sight. Elimination final. This is the last one. Fremantle versus Western Bulldogs, 8:10 p.m. Optus Oval. Freo 20-point winners over the Giants. The Dogs scraped in off the back of the Pies win over Carlton. They were challenged by Hawthorn, but did enough to put themselves in contention. The bottom line now, it's do or die for one of them. The game is in Perth on Freo's home deck, and they'll have the 19th man sitting in the stands cheering against them. News came out last night and also on Tuesday night. Fife is out, and now Tom Liberatore is out. Knowing both of those things, what do you think is going to be the end result in this game?
I think Libba for them out is huge. I'm not sure if he's accurately rated in terms of how important he is for their setup. I mean, Freo didn't have Fife for a lot this year, and they've made finals for the first time, so I think they're better equipped to deal with not having Fife. And I think the Dogs have just got some real bad memories of Optus Oval, so it's going to be... I think Fremantle are going to win.
Wow.
I think Freo as well.
Okay.
You know, they've deserved to be where they are. I think they've had a really strong season. I don't think many people would have thought they'd play this well this year. So I think, all credit to them. Like I said, they've played well with Fife, without him. Liberatore is a catalyst for the Bulldogs, especially inside. So, relative to that, I think Libba's probably a bigger out, and I think, Freo will get the jockeys.
I tend to agree. Let's go back to this game then. It's Melbourne versus Sydney in our next little segment, which is called Tell Me More. I like it. Tom's getting into it up here. You can see it. He's starting to, and I like all this. Good music too, he said. Never heard it before, but I like it. All right.
I actually haven't.
Do you know what movie that I know what movie that's from, it's okay.
All right, what we want to do here, we're going to ask the panellists to give their thoughts and opinions on all things happening in and around football. We're not trying to make or break the news here, we just want to get your thoughts and opinions. We'll get it straight from you guys. Let's do it. Next week, as I spoke about before, qualifying final, it doesn't get much bigger than this outside of the grand final. D's versus Swans, Friday 2nd of September, MCG, game kicks off at 7:50. Before we go there though, let's chat about Friday's game 12 days ago. Summing up in 3 letters, WOW. It was brilliant. I loved watching that game. Really good game. Thank you very much. Looking at, and the part that I found really interesting, which was the part that stood out for me the most, I saw the pre-match interview with Goody, and he had steely eyes. I don't know whether anybody else took it up on it, but I don't know what it was, but to me, he looked like he had steely resolve. The message seemed to be clear and concise. Tonight we'll be looking at executing better ball use, we'll be looking at getting quality entry and then converting in front of goal. The emphasis will be around quick ball movement, and we want all our tall targets presenting really well, and if they're not marking it, they'll be bringing it to ground. Was that what was actually discussed down in the rooms? Was that what was leading up to? Was that the emphasis that was given from the coaching group through to the playing group?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been the message all year. We've always been a really strong contest and defence team, but that's for those watching. The inconsistencies in our game have come where we haven't been able to capitalise or kick scores, and half the games we've lost, we've had leads at half time, which we've probably cost ourselves without that movement going forward and executing in front of goal. So that's been something we've been working on for ages, and came together pretty nicely against the Lions.
It was super impressive.
Yeah, I think our efficiency was right up, and being very accurate helps.
Yes.
I think I looked up at the scoreboard at one point.
Turns out.
That's football, yeah.
Turns out. I wouldn't believe it. But looked at the scoreboard, I think it was 13 goals 3 or 13 goals 2, and that makes life much easier.
Doesn't it?
But in terms of the messaging, I think the coaches try and keep it very consistent.
Yep.
And where we've slumped in games is when we've switched off as players.
Yep.
And that's something, like Gus alluded to, we've been trying to build and just trying to be ruthless in that nature.
Understood. I've written down here, both teams went inside 50 26 times up until half-time, but there was an 11-goal difference on the scoreboard. That, to me, says the game plan is working. You take that form into the finals and every other team, look out, because that's bloody good form.
Yeah.
The D's had 14 intercept marks down back. Cozzy kicked 4, Bailey Fritsch kicked 4, and Ben Brown kicked 3. Track chimed in with 2, and even Jakey put his hand up. Bloody love that. That goal and his subsequent celebration, I've never seen so much surprise on someone's face. How cool was that? Everybody got round him for that one.
Loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
I loved it. The Lions tried to rough you up and take you off your game. It was a heated, hostile first quarter. Demons were up for the fight though. 13 goals 3 in the first half. Lions couldn't win the ball, so they tried to win the fight. Contested possession was brilliant from Melbourne. Brisbane lost their way not playing the ball. Instead, they were playing the man. The scoreboard also took the crowd out of the equation. Brisbane played into Melbourne's hands, bombing it in all the time after time after time. The back six were just lapping it up. May, Lever, Langdon, Petty, Hibbert and Hunt all playing their role.
Yeah, you summed it up pretty well. I think... if we could draw a game up, that's it.
Yeah.
It starts in the contest, as you pointed out. They, they carry on a bit. I'm not sure it's particularly tough at the football, so that's where we focus our energies and efforts. And if we're not winning it, we're pressuring them, which is how you get those high kicks and our defenders peel off and mark. So as a whole defensive unit, that was as good a defensive half, the first half in particular, as I can remember. So that sets everything else up. And if we can get that offense to click, then we're hard to beat. So that's you summed it up pretty well.
Spot on, mate.
Yeah, I think off the back of the last time we played them, it was a similar game in terms of the contest.
Okay.
So we knew they were going to come out hot and come out swinging, but I think we managed it pretty well and just played the game and things went our way. So.
I finished off just by saying it wasn't just the tackling pressure Melbourne applied, it was the offensive and defensive pressure. It was clinical football. It was. I actually watched that game twice, and that's not bad for me. I bloody liked it. Angus, I wanted to chat with you about the newish type role you've taken on over the last 4 to 5 weeks of the season. Your role has seen you play a bit more in the centre, but it's not just centre. You're actually playing behind the ball in a defensive role in the centre.
Yeah. I mean, it's just... Yeah, you're right. It's a new role relative for the year. I mean, I've been a midfielder before, so it's not exactly...
no.
It's not strictly new, but I think with the injuries, the way that they sort of panned out, Harmsy got injured maybe a month ago, and Hunty was playing really good footy, so it just sort of worked out like that. My thing is that I always want to do whatever the team needs to win, so when Goody said, that's what we need you to do, I was more than happy to. And I think having spent that much time down back, and... It's funny, Maisie and Jake and all the boys get furious when a mid spits out and no one's defending him, and then he just runs in, bounce, goal, or lace up a target, because the competitive beast, a lot of them, they hate getting scored on, and when there's silver service or we get scored on, the defenders take it really personally. That's something that, I learned and felt more earlier in the year when I was a part of it. You don't really get that. If you're in the midfield group, you're more focused on what you guys are doing, and they're more focused on what they're doing. You don't really get a stronger sense as how serious that they take it. Like Maisie, if you're the reason that Maisie's man kicks a goal, then just forget about it, because it's scary. So from that perspective, coming back into the midfield and knowing the premium those boys put on it and how important it is to them, I think it's just. Something that I've been able, maybe just naturally a bit more aware of it. So I'm trying to make sure that no one's getting out, and no one, and Clayton and Track and Vines are brilliant players, and so to let them have their strengths on show, and as I said before, if this is the role that I need to play to help us win, then that's what. Something I'm loving doing.
How good is it? There's two things that you look for in football: buy-in and cohesion. And you've got both of those things in your back six, but it's just flowing right through now. That buy-in that they have down back is working so well because they've got good cohesion as well, and everyone knows their role. Yeah,
100%. I think I touched on it before. The team within the team stuff, that's really strong. As the strongest as I've ever felt is amongst that group in particular. And Goody talks about team defence as well a lot, so that's something that we try to hang our hats on as a team. So everyone's bought into that. We recognise that really strongly in our reviews. We train it really strongly. So, and we've got. Maisie's a 2-time All-Australian. We've got Hibbo and Rick who are 1-timers each, and they lead from the front with that stuff as well. So it's something that, as a team, we've all bought into really hard. And Spaz is really good at. We've got a good balance. So.
I love that. Spaz is really good too.
Yeah. Spaz is as good a runner, two-way runner. My younger brother. He's played on a few good midfielders this year. Said Spaz is one of the hardest he's played on, and the two-way running stuff, the effort you see, how hard he goes backwards, and it's not just him. We've got the Langers is incredible. Jim Jordan, who has just had surgery on his foot, but he's been awesome all year. The high forwards as well. So it's not just the defenders. You see, all over the ground, people have that buy-in and they know their roles. So it's really special to be a part of, and it's always keeping us in games, even if we're losing by a kick or a point. It's we're defending well enough that we can win any game, which is awesome. So
that's brilliant.
We just need to figure the forward stuff out, and then we'll be sweet.
That's good. That is good that it was highlighted, because I think every Melbourne supporter would acknowledge that fact with you, Tom, as opposed to Spaz, because I'm doing my thing here. But it's great because it is acknowledged that that's the kind of role that you've stepped into. You're great at being able to do that two-way run.
Yeah, I think it's something that's come pretty naturally to me.
Yep.
I pride myself on my work rate.
Okay.
And just trying to be honest as a footballer.
Yep.
So I think, and like I said before, Goody highlights it in the meetings post-match and at the start of the week.
Okay.
About the selfless things that people do. Yep. So a lot of players get highlighted for, chase down tackles or smothers even, just little things, little 1%ers that really help us to buy into that team defence. But for me, that's something that I pride myself on, and to get recognised, and it just makes me want to do it more and more. So it's not for me all about getting 30 plus touches every week and kicking all the goals, but if I can help someone else kick a goal, then that's my job.
Brilliant. That's it. Cohesion and buy-in. I love that. You can put your hands together for that. Love that. Well said, mate. Well said.
And he also does. You'd remember very fondly. He was one of the three in the 30 seconds that grand final. So he does like kicking snags when the opportunity presents.
When it's there, I'll have a crack. So.
I just wanted to finish off here. It allows for so many other options for other keeper position players, the role that you've taken on, which you've already alluded to. But just to finish off with it, initially it seemed strange because your defensive pressure. And your intercept marking had been a real asset for the Ds off half back. You've adapted back into more of a utility player, which I thought was interesting, even though you've been through that in your career previously. It's also good because it allows Hunty to come back in to the side, who seems to be really relishing the opportunity at the moment.
He's on fire. I mean, as I said, I relate to what Spaz said. My role, whatever it is I just want to do what's best for the team and put the team first. And if I have to go down back and play down back, that's what I'll do. Or I've played on the wing a bit as well, in the last few sort of weeks, and happy to do that. Or play on. I tagged Lockie Neal for a bit last week, so it's tagging now as well. So I've just done everything, and I'm happy to do it. It gives blokes, as you said, Hunty's come in. He's played an awesome role. We've had a really strong midfield for the first 18 weeks or so with me playing down back, so those guys get that opportunity, and then playing on the wing as well. I just feel like I can do it. It's something I'm proud of as a footballer, to be able to play those roles and help the team in so many different ways. And we won a flag, and I was a big part of it. So that's how I get my that's what fuels me. Not, as Spaz said, anything else. There's a very clear reason why we do all these things, and we're looking forward to having another go next month.
Wow. I'd be excited if I were you, Lod, I can tell you. The last time the two teams met, there was no May, but bearing in mind there was also no Buddy. Now, I know finals are a different ball game, they're a different kettle of fish, but they do apply immense pressure on the ball carrier. I talk, of course, here Sydney. Last time you met, and this created turnovers, pressure creates turnovers, and Sydney do bring that style and brand of football to their game. So in saying that, where do you think the game with Sydney will be won and lost?
I think, if I recall from last time, I think aerially Sydney were really good. Yep. They won a lot of critical contests forward of the ball, which meant that we were defending for long periods of the game. Yep. But in saying that, I think we were up at half time, and one of those games where we just let it slip. And I think for us, it's about our defence and capitalising on our opportunities forward of the ball. Yeah. I think if we can get those things right, then we'll hold us in good stead to go the journey. But then we talked about it before, buy-in, cohesion, efficiency going forward. Yeah. All these things come into play. If we can win contest, air and ground, we'll be sweet, I think.
Great.
Yeah, I was going to say the defence as well. I think they challenged us after half time with the way they moved the ball, and we defended really well in the first half. Their ball movement, and they were just able to generate scores off the back of that. So Spaz touched on the aerial stuff. I also think the way that, you know, probably off half back they chip and mark and they try and pick you apart. So if you're seeing them do that, then they're getting the game they want, and that's what we're going to try and be stopping. So if they're not doing that, then you know, you'll know that that's what we're on defensively.
Yeah, I think I did hear Chad Warner in the news come out and say that they were going to try and test us with their ball movement. So little things like that, just to be ready, you know.
Yes.
They don't want to give away too much, but if you can get a little bit like that, it might help. So just to be switched on.
Keep Chad Warner out of the news. I thought you were going to say something else there, Spaz.
I like it. Hey, there are confidence players, there are natural ability players, there are players that rise to the big occasions, and there are those that thrive on the big stage and soak in the atmosphere. Where do you two guys sit? Which one would you be out of those?
Read them out again.
Oh, okay. There are confidence players,
Yep.
there's natural ability players,
Yep.
there's players that rise to the big occasion, and there's those that thrive on the big stage and soak up the atmosphere. Which one do you think you might fall into the category of?
I think for me would probably be the last option, the big occasion. I think you get a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's sort of something that clicks in you.
Yeah.
And you just get more energy.
Okay.
You can just go that extra step or lay that extra tackle. I think for me, big games with the big crowds really fuels how I'm feeling and my confidence as well. So it sort of goes hand in hand, I think.
Yeah.
And if the team's playing well, there's so much energy. It all ties in, and you can get so much of a boost.
Nice. Well said, Tom. Well said.
Yeah, I think the big game one stands out. That's why I love footies, playing in front of big crowds, all you guys there supporting, cheering, and winning those games. I think you just find another gear naturally. So hopefully we've got three of those coming up, or the MCG. So very much looking forward to it.
I'm smiling. Why are you like smiling? That's fantastic. I feel wonderful. I feel invigorated just listening to you two. Obviously, I wish you all the very best into this game. Friday night, big game football. Go out there, smash the Swans, and then, as you say, there's another 3 weeks of football, which would be bloody awesome. And then we'll get you back onto another post-grand final show.
Yeah, absolutely.
How nice would that be? All right. That's all I wanted to say to the boys. I hope you've enjoyed our little chat. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you. So I'm going to introduce a segment. It's called Simply the Best. All right, so here we go. Here comes your first question. I just want to know, are you both ready to go?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, good. Here comes your first question then.
Faster, Dave, next time.
I thought he was going to go off the stage then. All right.
Come on, Dave.
I told you. You better get a few questions right, mate. All right, here we go. Here's your first question. How many premierships has your club won?
Al.
Dave. Alvie.
13.
Correct. She's off the mark. How many times has your team played in a losing grand final?
L.
Alvie.
5.
Correct. Well done. She's come here with a purpose, I think.
Get Dave a new mic. Dave's mic's not working.
I don't know.
Let's give her a healthy head
Yeah, I
start.
don't know, Dave. Alvie looks like she's come here for a definite win. Here's your third question. Who is your team's captain?
Dave.
L.
Oh, Dave, you got in?
Big Gorney.
Yes, well done. All right. Angus is very happy, mate. All right. Here we go. Question number 4. Who wears the number 7 at your
Dave.
club? Oh, Alvie.
Vines. Viney.
Yep, Jack Viney, correct. Well done. Listen to the entirety of the question before you both buzz in. How many members does your club currently have closest within 1,000?
L.
Dave.
Alvie.
64.
65.
How many?
65.
Okay, I hadn't said yes or no to that answer yet, but that's not bad, Dave. I do like your enthusiasm, and it paid off in this instance because it's 66. So well done. 66,021. Where did your team finish on the ladder at the end of
Dave.
Yes, Dave.
I hope you mean this year.
Yeah,
Second.
I hope you... Well, I didn't get to finish the question, but you said second?
I did.
It's not right because I'll have to finish the question. Where did your team finish on the ladder at the end of the home and away season last year?
On top.
Alvie.
On top.
Yeah, there you go. Numero uno.
Got to keep going.
Love your work,
We're
Al.
behind, Dave.
Excellent. Here we go. How many games did your team win last year at the end of the home and away season?
Dave,
Dave.
18.
No, mate. Very close. Alvie.
17.
There it is. 17 it is. Well done. What year did your team last win a grand final and who did they play?
L.
Dave,
Alvie.
2021, and we played the Bulldogs.
There it is. Well done. All right. Three versus two, just to keep you up with the scores. Here we go. Your next question.
Double points.
Not yet. How many points did you win that grand final by?
L.
Alvie.
74.
70. What was it, Dave?
thank you.
I can give you the scores.
Just to make it even, and I can't. He's already held Tristan's hand when he's flying, so I want to look after him. You've got the point, Dave. So you'll get. It goes to 3. All right.
Thank you.
So you've done it. Here's your next question. Who won the Norm Smith medal? Dave.
Christian Petrarca.
Excellent. Well to go. All right. Now for 2 points. Ooh. All right. Who is your club's leading goal kicker?
Dave.
Dave.
Fritter.
Yes. And there's another part to the question because it's worth 2 points. I can't give it to you until you can give me the next part of the question.
And he kicked 50 goals for the year.
Yep.
No, that's not bad. Bailey Fritsch, you do get 1 point. And would you like to chime in, Alvie, with how many goals?
What, this year?
No, at the end of
Last
2021, last year.
year. 58. 9.
Oh, what do I do? All Dave's family was
Team
going,
Dave.
no. Can I see show of hands for he got it? A show of hands for he didn't get it. Oh, sorry, Dave. 59. 59? It's 59. I can't go to a score review. We don't... I'll give them both a point. Let's just... You were wonderful, both of you. You're going to both have a point each, all right? This is for 3 points now. Please listen to the entirety of the question so that way you can give me the proper answer. Player, year and votes. Who was the last Melbourne player? Oh. Okay. Alv?
That would be Woden
1 point.
in 2000
2 points.
with 24.
3 points. Wow. Wow. She does muck around, does she? All right.
6
Well
pointer.
done, Alvie. All right. I hope we've left enough material for your podcast, mate. This is going all right. All right, here we go. I will give you 3 player names. Give me their combined total of all 3 jumpers. I'll give you their names. You add up their jumper numbers. After you buzz in, you'll get 3 seconds to give me the answer. Here are the 3 players. Stephen May, Ed Langdon, Jaden Hunt. Alv. 3 seconds.
43.
No. Dave.
27.
No, you went the other way. It's 45. Stephen May with 1, Ed Langdon 15, Jaden Hunt 29. Combined total 45. Here's your last question. What are we looking at? 10 versus 5. I could make
Worth 8
this.
points.
I could make this worth 6, Dave. but I won't. Whoa.
Do you get disqualified?
I just feel like I just got sent to my room. Wow. Jeez. I'm not brave enough for that. All right. Yeah. Woo. Okay, here we go. 3 jumper numbers. You guys add up the total. 3 seconds after you buzz in. Here's your jumper numbers. Bailey Fritsch, Keziah Pickett, Ben Brown.
Dave.
Risking it all, mate.
35.
97.
97, you're very close. It's 117. We don't have a winner from that, but we do have a winner from the actual segment, and the winner is Alvie. Alvie, well done. Well done, my dear. That was fantastic.
That's all right, mate. No, you're right, mate. Good stuff.
Hey,
well done. Great,
oh,
well
you
done.
right?
Very well done.
Dave, come back. Albie, come back. You don't go empty-handed. Everyone goes home with something that's good for footy. You've got a that's good for footy football. All right? Congratulations. Albie, you've got a set of headphones, TW-E3Bs from Yamaha, valued at $190. They're yours. So you can listen to the footy finals with those in your ears. All right?
Well deserved.
Congratulations, well done. That was wonderful. That segment, thank you, Sam. That segment, Simply the Best, was brought to you by Yamaha, which you've just got, and the Big Picture people. They are the experts in surround sound home theatre technology. The Big Picture people are located in Hoppers Crossing, Clyde North, Water Gardens, South of Rang, Cheltenham and the Gold Coast. All right, what we want to do now is have a little fun with the boys. We're going to do this in our segment called Cool World. What I'm going to do here, boys, just going to ask you a series of questions. You feel free to answer them however you think it is applicable. Here's your first question. Have you ever Googled yourself?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, all right,
It's not
good.
easy way about
No,
it.
that's good. Do you watch replays of games that you feature in?
I've watched the grand final a few times.
Yeah.
So that I've seen that, you know, I think I watched the second half in particular maybe 10 times or something.
Oh, beautiful. I like it. Very nice.
I've watched it a few times. Every time I skip the second quarter. Every time.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Would you get a hair transplant if you were starting to go bald?
I don't have to worry about that ever. Unfortunately, it's just not.
6 set of hair.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think I would consider it.
Yeah? Okay, that's good. I like your honesty. Have you ever said, do you know who I am when lining up to get into a nightclub?
Never, ever.
Hard no.
No.
Hard
Stephen
no.
May. You don't have to worry about that.
I like it. He won't dob himself in, but he's happy to dob someone else in.
yeah.
I love that.
No,
that's so
absolutely not.
cool.
We're good.
Soft limits.
We're good, man.
Yeah, good on you, boys. Have you ever fudged a footy story to make it sound better?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, a few times actually. There's a kick this one goal one time that keeps getting on a tighter and tighter angle. And it's never coming back. It's always getting close to the
left
boundary.
foot check side on a
exactly.
boomerang. Yeah,
Getting harder and harder the older I get.
Nice.
I reckon he's been fudging that story every captain's run, I reckon. He's got this kick, he reckons it's the Brayshaw kick. And
It's called a Brayshaw, and I've done it on my left and my
I've never
right
seen
foot.
it.
No one else, that's not true. Ed Langdon's seen it, you can ask him. It's where you are running towards the boundary, and then you snap it. So if I'm running towards the right pocket, I'm snapping on my right foot, and so it's automatically not going the right way, but you bend it through the goals, and then out through the point, to the point post as well, so it sort of just clips in and then just spins back out. So it's high difficulty, but it's been done. So Spaz can't do it. Spaz comes over and tries, he can't do it.
I'll give it a crack, but I've seen is believing, and I haven't seen him do it. So
I like it. All right, here we go. Have you ever brought a present for your partner, but it was really for you?
Yeah. Golf lessons. So, and I suspected she wouldn't want them, and then I would get them, and that's sort of how it worked out. So,
I'm thinking of a few movie tickets of movies that I wanted to go watch. But
Nice.
we'll call it a date night.
Oh, I like it. Caring is sharing. Well done, boys. Have you ever re-gifted a gift that was given to you?
Can't say I have. No.
I can't remember. I must have though. It sounds like something I would do.
Does sound like something you would do.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
Must have. Probably yes.
Have you ever pretended to be on the phone to avoid a conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I have a few times. It's funny when early days, and don't tell Roosie this, but if I was in bad form, I'd sort of see him in the car park, I'd get on the phone, and so if I thought I was going to get dropped, I thought for some reason that he wouldn't come get me if I thought I was on the phone. So I've done that a few times, but not
I
as
like
much
your
anymore.
thinking.
A few times, on the team bus, you don't want to be bothered. You just point to your AirPod and just, I'm on the phone. Mate, you can trick anyone with that.
I
one.
love
That's
it.
pretty
That's
easy.
so cool. Are you on social media more than 4 hours a day?
I can happily say that I'm not.
Okay.
iPhone's got the new
Are
screen
you sure
time.
about that?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll get my screen time out
no,
right
I'm
now.
just checking.
And I'll show you, but
Okay.
I am not, no.
No.
I'm not, no.
Okay, good enough. Someone annoying is talking to you and they've got parsley stuck in between their teeth. Do you tell them?
Yes, you
I
have
think
to.
you probably just
It would
have
annoy
to.
me, just like seeing it, so you got to tell them.
Oh, it's still in Gus's
Yeah,
head.
you probably have to tell them. Why am I stuck talking to them? Do I have to? Yeah, probably just don't.
Or if you're in
don't
their
talk to them.
shoes, do you want them to tell you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, you could probably have to tell them.
You got to tell. You got to.
Oh, we do all the real big questions here. Here's your last one. You get upgraded at an event, a restaurant or a hotel to VIP status because someone thinks you're someone that you're not. Do you say anything or just go along with it?
No. It's a lot hard enough as it is in this world, and anytime you get a little leg up, then take it.
Nice answer.
I agree.
Yeah, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the boys. Thank you. I wanted to say we've got 3 important dates for you, the 7th, the 14th and the 21st of September, moving into the finals. We also will hopefully be doing a post-grand final show regardless of what team that is. So there may be 4 dates, but those are the 3 important ones at the moment. This is the time of the year. We're going into the 1st of September tomorrow. The smell of fresh cut grass, you all know what that smells like. Deep heat, you know, smell of leather, getting down to the MCG for a game of football. That's all going to be happening over this weekend. All I wanted to do is just let you know is get onto the That's Good Footy Facebook page and like it, and then sign up, because then we'll send you the details, all right? And then when tickets do get announced, you can then either get a text from us or you'll see it come up on the Facebook page, and then you can go through and purchase your tickets and we can go from there. I wanted to also let you know these shows are recorded live. That is up down there with Sam, done through YouTube, so you can check out this show tomorrow afternoon and you can watch it. Which is hopefully a bit of entertainment more for you. I also just wanted to allude to the fact that it's only Sam, Sandra and I that put these shows together, and we love all your support. So thank you for coming along and giving us your support once again. To the lovely Sandy and Sam, thank you. And while you guys are feeling in that real rapturous part of the night where you start to do these things with your hands, put them together for both Angus Brayshaw, the lovely Tom Sparrow, I'm sure you will all agree that what the boys did tonight in their insight and to give you some knowledge about what goes on behind the scenes and about their junior years and moving into playing AFL football has been really insightful. We found out some stuff about Christian Petrarca who needs his hand to be held. We know that Max fainted. There's stories that can go on here. But I loved it, boys. Thank you both very much. For one, Angus, for you coming back, and I think this is about your 7th or 8th show, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I love it, mate. And Tom, please, I'm going to give the final word to you to say to the fans. But before you do, I just want to wish you boys the best on Friday night. Good luck with going in. I wish you all the best going up against the Swannies, and I hope that we can get you back and we can do some more shows moving forward. Final word will go to you, my friend.
Yeah, just want to say a massive thank you to you, Damo, having me on, and everyone here for showing up. It's good to see all your faces. First time, loved it. So thank you all once again, and hopefully we can get the job done for you on Friday.
How nice is that? I'm sure if most of the women were in the room were handing out a report card, there'd be 5 gold stars on both of their report cards because they were wonderful tonight. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I know it's been a strange kind of a week, but it was great that you all came along and supported the show and supported these 2 boys, supported the Melbourne Football Club. Love your guts. It's been bloody wonderful. My name's Damien. We've had a good time tonight. We hope to see you again soon. This has been the That's Good for Footy panel show. Thank you and good night, everyone. Cheers, guys.